Three of the greatest commanders in human history. One aircraft carrier. Same rules. Whoever gets closest wins. Rome goes first. The USS Gerald R Ford is 1,106 feet long, 100,000 tons, 90 aircraft on deck, 5,000 crew, 2 nuclear reactors that need no refueling for 25 years. It moves at over 30 knots in any direction, faster than any ancient galley at full ram speed. The ocean around it stretches in every direction to the horizon and beyond. That ocean is not a background detail. It is the carrier's most important weapon. For this scenario, 10,000 soldiers per army. Same carrier, same defenses. The carrier resets between each attack. And the question is not who wins, the carrier wins, but who shows the most tactical intelligence against a problem no human mind in their era could have imagined. Rome goes first. In the 1st century of the Common Era, the Roman legion is the most disciplined fighting force on earth. 10,000 legionaries who have marched from Britain to Mesopotamia, taken every fortified position between them, and never stopped improving the engineering of organized violence. They build field fortifications in hours that take civilian engineers months. They reduced Carthage. They broke every tribal formation the world threw at them for 500 years. Nothing in their experience has prepared them for this. Gaius Petronius Rufus, 1st centurion of the 3rd cohort, has been given an objective. He can see it from his ship, a grey structure rising from the water like a floating fortress, wider than a Roman road, longer than 3 city blocks. He gives the order to advance. His 10,000 men, packed into transports and war galleys, begin moving toward it in formation. The Hawkeye radar aircraft is already in the air. The Hawkeye tracks every Roman vessel simultaneously from 300 miles away. It classifies each ship, calculates each intercept course, and transmits the full tactical picture to the carrier before a single oar has pulled twice. The carrier's combat center knows exactly where every Roman ship is, where they are going, and how long before they arrive. The Super Hornets launch. Each Super Hornet flies at Mach 1.8, roughly twice the speed of sound. A Roman javelin travels at approximately 90 feet per second. The aircraft that Petronius first sees as a dark shape on the horizon reaches his formation in under 45 seconds. He has no word in Latin for what he is seeing. The closest concept available to him is a very fast bird. It is carrying precision munitions that can strike a specific target from 15 miles. The lead Roman galleys never get within 10 miles of the carrier. The Super Hornets work the outer formation first, not attacking the ships directly, but putting strikes in the water ahead of them, the sonic signatures alone driving the oarsmen into panic. The legionaries who have never broken are now fighting their own sailors for control of ships that are turning and shipping water simultaneously. Petronius reaches a decision that no Roman military manual covers. He orders the retreat. 300 of his most determined men, in 8 galleys, ignore the order and keep rowing. The phalanx close-in weapon system, a rotary cannon firing 4,500 rounds per minute, automated, radar-guided, engages the approaching galleys at 2 miles. Against wooden ships, it is not a defensive weapon. It is a termination event. Wood does not stop 20mm rounds. The ocean does that work efficiently. None of the 8 galleys reaches the hull. Time, 45 minutes. Closest approach, 2 miles. Rome came with discipline. Rome went back with nothing. Alexander the Great goes second. Alexander of Macedon never lost a battle. In 10 years, he conquered every empire between Greece and India. 47,000 soldiers, the finest combined arms force the ancient world ever fielded. Macedonian phalanx 16 ranks deep, companion cavalry that no ancient army could outflank. Cretan archers, Thessalian light horse. He studied every enemy he ever faced and found a weakness in everyone. He will find a weakness in this. He does not attack on the first day. He sends his fastest scout ships in a wide arc, ordered to observe and record. The carrier's course changes, the pattern of aircraft launches, the timing of any gaps in air coverage. His scouts stay beyond 15 miles, which Alexander has correctly identified as the outer limit of anything his archers can reach. He does not know what that 15 miles means for the weapons on the other side. The Hawkeye has been tracking his scouts since they left the coast. Alexander's reconnaissance occupies 2 days. What he builds is remarkable. An accurate map of the carrier's patrol pattern, a rough estimate of the launch interval for its aircraft, and the observation that the ship always turns into the wind before each sortie. He plans his approach for the moment between 2 launch cycles, from upwind, in dispersed formation, with his fastest craft at the lead. He is the first of the 3 commanders to understand that a massed approach is wrong. He sends 60 small boats in independent pairs, each on a slightly different heading, ordered to converge on the carrier from different angles simultaneously. The plan that defeated Darius at Gaugamela: apply pressure at multiple points, find the seam, send the companion cavalry through the gap. The Hawkeye tracks all 60 pairs simultaneously. It has been doing so since they launched. The Super Hornets engage the outer boats at 12 miles. Alexander watches from his command vessel as pairs of fast craft simply stop. No explosion visible at this range, simply gone from the water. He adjusts. He sends signals to the innermost boats to change course and approach at oblique angles, hoping to complicate the targeting picture. This is intelligent. Against a radar system that tracks 256 targets simultaneously, it is not effective. 17 of his boats reach 4 miles. 3 reach 2 miles. One boat, a pair of Macedonian Marines in the lightest vessel Alexander could find, rowing at sprint pace on a heading Alexander calculated himself, closes to 1 mile and 800 yards before the close-in weapon system ends the engagement. 1 mile and 800 yards, closer than Rome got by a factor of 5. Alexander withdraws. He has already identified the carrier's one structural vulnerability. It cannot send aircraft below a certain altitude without risk to its own landing pattern. He is building a plan around that observation. He will need siege equipment he doesn't have, in quantities he can't transport. Across open water, he can't resupply across. He knows this too. He is the only commander today who understands the exact shape of the problem that has defeated him. Time: 3 days of reconnaissance, 6 hours of attack. Closest approach: 1 mile, 800 yards. Alexander came the closest. He also understood most precisely why closest was not enough. Genghis Khan goes last. The Mongol force under Genghis Khan in the Khwarezmian campaign of 1220 was 10,000 of the most adaptable light cavalry in recorded history. In 20 years, Genghis Khan had built the largest land empire the world had ever seen, not through brute force, but through a principle his generals called the Mongol way. You do not fight the enemy's strength. You find what the enemy needs to survive, and you cut it off. He doesn't attack the carrier on the first day, or the second. He observes. He watches the aircraft launch patterns for 3 days. He watches supply ships approach the carrier from the east. He notes that the carrier refuels its aircraft from stores on deck. He identifies the resupply vessels. He sends his fastest riders, his best swimmers, his most resourceful captains, to observe every approach route, every ship that comes within 50 miles of the carrier. He builds the same picture that won him 40 cities and a continent. A carrier, Genghis Khan concludes, is a fort. He has taken forts before. Every fort has a supply chain. Cut the supply chain and the fort falls without a single assault on its walls. He does not need to breach the hull. He needs to find the resupply route and close it. He finds the resupply route. He deploys his forces to intercept the supply vessels at the furthest approach point, beyond the carrier's air cover radius. He sends small probing boats to harass the outer perimeter at night, burning the carrier's ammunition at range, exactly the way he burned garrison ammunition at the walls of Samarkand. He is patient. He has always been patient. It takes him until the 5th day to understand the problem. The carrier moves, not toward a fixed supply line or a fixed harbor. It moves continuously in a pattern that changes toward supply ships that also move, in open ocean where there is no road to cut and no choke point to hold. Every intercept calculation Genghis makes is obsolete the next morning when the carrier steams 30 miles in a new direction. There is no terrain to use, no ridge to control, no river crossing to deny. The ocean itself is the carrier's supply route, and it goes in every direction at once. Genghis Khan sits on the deck of his flagship and looks at the horizon. He is the only one of the three commanders who has understood exactly what he is facing. He understood it faster than Alexander. He built a better strategic response than Rome could imagine. And he is the only one today who fully grasps the conclusion. Not just that the carrier cannot be reached, but why. The ocean is the first army he has ever faced that he cannot surround. He does not attack. Final ranking. Third, Rome, 45 minutes, 2 miles. Second, Alexander, 3 days of planning, 1 mile and 800 yards, and a tactical insight that almost worked. First, Genghis Khan, 5 days, no assault, total strategic clarity. And the first defeat of his career that he would willingly accept because the alternative was pointless. The carrier steams east at 30 knots. Nobody on board will ever know how close it came to being genuinely studied. Remember, this is just a what-if thought, so nothing in this video is serious. See you in the next one.